So guys, give me credit for this one because I am literally just getting out of my shower about 20 minutes ago and I had to take a nice hour-long nap when I got home because I literally worked 10 hours today, hour and a half overtime, and got up at 6 o'clock this morning to be at work for 7. I worked 7 to 5. So, yeah, I am pretty tired. I am pretty pooped. I'm pretty beat. Yet somehow, I'm a little bit rested, and I'm still here to do this live review and talk about Raw. So what's going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I am here live to give you my live review of last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, the November 16th, 2020 edition, as it once again took place at the WWE ThunderDome at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida, which again is rumored to be changing soon. They're supposed to be out of there again by December 5th. Leading candidate apparently has been the Tropicana Field, again, home of the Tampa Bay Rays, so possible. So we'll see, of course, what happens when we get there. But this was the go-home show for Raw for this Sunday's pay-per-view Survivor Series. And overall, let's put it this way. Did I love the show? No. Did I hate the show? Not quite either. I will be real and say there was some things about this show I did like. But it was one of those shows that the stuff I liked, I really liked. But the stuff I didn't like, I really disliked. But I could say that I feel like there was a lot more positive than negative on this show. It was weird. It was just a weird show to try to pick out a grade for, because I was really on the balance between C plus and a B minus. But I'm thinking, geez, I can say the stuff that was good was like really good, but the stuff that was good, but there was more good. I thought it was a tough show to grade, but I still thought there was some positives that come out of this episode of Raw. A solid go-home show for Survivor Series. Even though Survivor Series still is just a bragging rights show, and I still don't give a crap about the whole concept of Survivor Series. But we still have a couple matches I'm looking forward to seeing on that show. But of course, we'll talk about that when we get to my Survivor Series review later this week, if that can get here faster enough. Yeah, and of course, unless if something happens on Sunday, this is going to be changing again. But of course, we'll talk about that later on in the show. So first, let's check the live chat. We got JR Campbell. What's up, JR? Yeah, I just got down here to watch your show, to watch your review on Raw. Vince McMahon was on vacation last night, apparently. Oh! May explain some things. Yeah, maybe some things are actually able to, get done right. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows, though? What wait and see. Well, let's roll into this show. Let's talk about it from top to bottom. We open up with Drew McIntyre coming out. He welcomes us to the show, says how Survivor Series is Sunday, and it's been a Thanksgiving tradition since he's lived in America for a third of his life. He loves Thanksgiving. He's grown up his whole adult life in front of the WWE Universe, so he wants to tell us what he's thankful for. Family and friends, I can agree with that for sure. The fans, the ThunderDome, bringing us closer together. Talk about working harder and proving people wrong, and his visit to SmackDown to confront Roman Reigns. Reigns has put himself on a pedestal so high that everybody down below is ants, and he's going to claymore him back down to earth at Survivor Series. But he'd be a fool to overlook Randy Orton, his opponent, of course, for tonight, to earn him back the WWE Championship. Randy Orton appears up on the Titantron. Here's what Drew's talking about, so he figured he'd join in. Orton is thankful for being a 14-time champ. And of course, about to go through the typical stuff he's been saying for several weeks, he's the best, and this and that. Orton digs a little deeper though on this one, which made this promo really good. Orton mentions how he's thankful for the fines and the suspensions that he's gotten, including putting his hands, a fine he got for last week for putting his hands on Adam Pearce. He claims that he's been fined and suspended more than any other WWE superstar ever under contract. But that, despite all those rules being broken, he's still here because he's the greatest ever. And he's going to beat McIntyre again, just like he did at Hell in a Cell, and he will still be WWE Champion. And then, of course, McIntyre is like, tonight's going to end with me winning back the title. Out comes Miz and Morrison. Basically, kind of promo just to remind, him that, that he's lurking around pretty much. But then, of course, McIntyre, I think that there's a Glasgow kiss or whatever it was, or whatever he wants to call it. And then they back them off, and then McIntyre's like, you know what? I could use a warm up if you'd like for tonight. But then Miz tells McIntyre that he screwed up by handing out title matches like candy tonight. Whether he wins or loses is going to be the A-lister laughing all the way to the bank, even though that never happened because something else happened with Miz later on the show we'll talk about. So, good old big segment there for sure. I know a lot of people, again, were not a fan of McIntyre going over to SmackDown. To me, it kind of made sense. I actually did kind of, again, I know the whole brand-to-brand invitation, especially the last month or so, has really been pushing some buttons. What they did with Drew on SmackDown on Friday, totally fine. Told a very true and legitimate story between him and Roman Reigns to make us want to see Drew McIntyre, get the typical face and heel booking instead of making well, of course we'll talk about the result, of course, is the main event and the match for the world title versus world title match on Sunday. It was a way to establish a babyface in the storyline very well, and kind of give Drew McIntyre a hurdle to overcome again to just make him even much better of a babyface, which is why what happened in the main event I thought was very, very well built up for. So I can't say I hated McIntyre going to SmackDown on Friday. I think, it worked with him stopping over on SmackDown on Friday. So that was a good start. But then when it came back down to reality was something I didn't like. Backstage, we've got Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax roll up, and Lana starts bragging about a match she had booked. A 6-woman tag match with Asuka, Mandy Rose, and Dana Brooke taking a team of Lana, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler. She wants to prove that she belongs on the team. And, of course, the others were just like, nah, like they weren't big fans of it. The match happens, and during the match, at one point, Shayna Baszler stomps on Mandy Rose's arm, and there's already rumors that Mandy Rose was legitimately hurt last week by none other than who else? Nia Jax. So they did that to basically write Mandy out of Survivor Series. And of course, Lana tries to tag herself in, show some guts. Doesn't work. She taps with the Asuka lock like the loser she is on TV. And then for the 9th time in a row, once again, it's table time! And Nia Jax puts Lana through a table yet again. It's getting old. I really don't care. But, but besides that, the story here going was they wrote Mandy Rose out of the Survivor Series match. And then backstage, Dana Brooke was interviewed outside the trainer's room when Reckoning, Mia Yim, of course, Reckoning, attacks Dana Brooke, and that's supposed to write her off as well. So, it's looking like to me when they did this, I thought, okay, I was thinking maybe they'd have Reckoning yeah, the Team Raw. And I keep thinking maybe that Charlotte Flair is going to come back. But instead, they just said, oh, by the way, we're just going to replace you with Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans. No rhyme or reason, once again, even though women on SmackDown, especially the Boat, Natalya, is having had 3 qualifying matches and lost every single one of them. Yet 4 out of the 5 team members on Team Raw didn't even have to earn. Still makes no sense. And of course, there's Nia Jax being Nia Jax. Even Nia Jax literally can't say anything without me making me cringe. She said "psych" this week, and it still made me cringe, and that's unfortunate. But that happens. Don't care. And of course, AJ's trying to rally up the men's team. And of course, it goes back to, Matt Riddle just doing nothing but giving everybody nicknames. So, name calling, we're going to resort to name calling, as of course, Paul Heyman said. And I'm just like, oh gosh, they're already... I'm seeing it right now. The first person eliminated in the men's Survivor Series match is going to be Matt Riddle. I'm sorry, it's going to be Matt Riddle. He's going to look like a joke. I see it coming all the way here now. It's not going to be cool. So we have that hyping it up. And then Team Raw, 4 of the 5 members, all except for AJ Styles, is going to have a match against Retribution later on in the show. Yay. But first, we had some good stuff. We had the Firefly Funhouse with Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. And wait a minute, I just saw something here. It's something called a voice message from, is he in the live chat? No, he's not. Wait, is he? Who knows? Is Robbie One Kenobi? Nope, Robbie's not in the live chat. Well, maybe he's listening somewhere else. So let me first respond to this. Okay, thank you, Dobby. And then I am going to play. Let me see if he has another shocking message for me from Mr. Harabi One Kenobi. Let me see what we got here. Here we go.
Hey, Mike. All right. This is awesome. Clap, whatever you marks do. Fight forever, write that check. What can I say? I'm an Eddie Kingston guy.
That's very true, Robbie. Yes, indeed. Referencing Mr. Eddie Kingston as well. Thank you, Robbie. Anyways, though, let's keep rolling here. So we have the Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss welcome us. Bray says Miz is the worst and runs down why all Hollywood types are bad. Up to including sacrificing everything to their reptilian overlord. So he's got a lesson in manners for the A-listers. They've got a match later on tonight. And it has to repeat himself. Well, you don't want to see his bad side. He knows it's short notice, but thankfully he and his friends are here to help him prepare. Which leads to a bunch of training montages where he beats up his puppets. He does it blindfolded to work on his peripheral vision. He makes karate chopping and pooping noises. He does a spelling bee to spell out jackass, which is M-I-Z, jackass. And he throws darts at Rambling Rabbit and says bullseye. And he is ready to take on The Miz. So basically it's going to be a rematch, kind of like what we had from TLC last year, which we'll get to that in a little bit. Oh, I love this segment. For anybody who knows me, Kofi Kingston, if Kofi, my boy, if you were not already, someone I love, Kofi, my man, you even earn more brownie points at this segment, because I know what you were referencing. So, we have the Hurt Business come out. MVP leads the group and talk about how much the Hurt Business is going to be kicking. And he hypes up, of course, Bobby Lashley as a U.S. champion taking on Sami Zayn Survivor Series, and also then hypes up how soon to be so Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin is going to be each getting shots, the shot for the tag titles on this episode of Raw as well. So they said most of the Hurt Business will have most of the gold, which I'm like, cool. I thought it was a little weird that he kind of overlooked, didn't even mention somebody going after the WWE title, though. I thought that was a little strange, but whatever. Here comes Kofi and Xavier. I'm always saying Big E. So, I love this segment. I love this brawl, especially what Kofi said, because again, Kofi, I got your reference there, homie. So New Day comes out, and Woods tells them to bass out their voices before he throws them out. Kofi uses MVP's full name and says the best versus the best means they're going to retain and go to wrestle the Street Profits at Survivor Series. And then they start bickering back and forth. Kofi Kingston said, "Here, let me have my comeback. I have my comeback here," which, when they said that and they said this, I pieced the puzzle together for the reference. Kofi Kingston said, "Let me have my comeback here." And he said, "You may be called the Hurt Business. Well, you're acting more like jerks, so I might as well call you the Jerk Business." See? There's my comeback. And I'm like, Kofi, my man, we could be friends even more, buddy. And the reason why is because that had to have been a Seinfeld reference. I'm sorry. Again, those of you who know me very well, I'm a huge Seinfeld junkie. I pretty much know almost every single Seinfeld episode, and that had to have been a Seinfeld reference there. The episode wherever George was eating shrimp, and his one coworker had zinged him, saying how the ocean had called they're running out of shrimp, and George was stumped, and then he was waiting to find an opportunity. Again, the guy he wanted to get the comeback on randomly quit working for the Yankees and then went to Firestone in Akron, Ohio. Like, who leaves work for the Yankees for a tire company? I don't get that. But George even flew out to Akron just to find an excuse to zing that comeback on the guy, even though, once again, it backfired on him again. But the line was, "Well, the jerk store called. They're running out of you." So I'm thinking, oh, goodness. Like with Kofi, calling them the Jerk Business and saying that, oh, that's my comeback. Emphasizing he had to get his comeback, and I'm like, it has to be a George Costanza reference. Has to be referencing George. But Kofi, love you, man. If that was the case, I love you. But, we had the tag match, and it was a fun tag match between New Day's Woods and Kingston, and then Alexander and Benjamin of the Hurt Business. My favorite part of the match was Cedric Alexander's 3 suicide dives, and they weren't really the cleanest ones either. But he definitely took some very risky shots for sure. But some good near falls and whatnot. Again, you can tell that these 4 work very well together. And I'm hoping for another match. I'm hoping the feud continues. Again, I'm all for Cedric and Shelton winning the tag titles. Again, I think Cedric's doing great in the position he's getting with the Hurt Business. It's being kind of the young upstart of the group. I think he's playing that role very well. Shelton Benjamin being, one of the veterans, of course, of the group. I think he's playing his role great as well. Kind of like a mentor figure to Cedric, as it looks like. So I'm definitely all game for to win the tag titles. My thing was just not tonight, not last night, because I really want to see New Day and Street Profits, and we're getting it because the New Day won. With their Daybreak finisher, they hit on Cedric Alexander to win the titles, to retain the title. So, awesome match, and of course, awesome segment to, make me think that they made a Seinfeld reference there. So, I'm sorry, Kofi, missed that Tommaso Ciampa. But yes, I love that moment for sure. Anyways, let's check the live chat. Actually, let's check the live chat. We have a lot going on here in the live chat. What's going on, peeps? Let's see what we got here. JR, and he left stupid ass Adam Pearce Charger Raw. That's the room of Randy versus Drew. He would win, but that didn't happen. What's up, Tyler? What's up, Lauren? She didn't like Raw. Gave it a C-. WWE is lazy with Survivor Series. What was the point of giving the title to Randy anyway? Doesn't even feel like Survivor Series. The teams suck, even though not everybody's official. Everyone WWE needs to put Triple H in charge. She's pissed at all the creative, and Miz will cash in on Drew at Survivor Series. It's possible. I hear now that it's going to be Drew versus will defend Adam Cole. It's a rumor I heard. Vince likes Adam Cole. He wants to bring him up to the main roster without the rest of the Undisputed Era. I don't know about that. And he doesn't like McIntyre. Yow, I love McIntyre. We all knew the moment Drew went to Survivor he was defeating Orton. That was obvious, but neither Drew, Orton, or Roman could afford to lose. But why did Drew get a rematch against Orton when he didn't earn it? I mean, again, Lauren, as I continue to say, again, McIntyre beat Orton twice. I mean, he kind of did earn a rematch, even though I don't understand the rules of rematches here and there. Shayna and Nia are not good teammates. They'll be the first ones eliminated. I'll predict that on Friday. Lana's being punished. I know that. Nia, of course, hurt somebody else with Mandy Rose. No champion can afford to lose on Sunday. Some can, I think. There's some that definitely cannot. I love how Vince thinks it's funny that Lana gets put through a table every week. Yeah, it's not funny anymore for sure. I really miss when you qualify instead of putting in. Nia is still employed because of The Rock. Of course she is. Sheamus will face Drew for the title at TLC or Royal Rumble, which I'm not opposed to. We'll get to that. SmackDown is a better show, for sure, because of Roman. It will not be number 10 on Sunday. Alexa Bliss got engaged. Yep, I saw that. Congratulations, Alexa. Robbie is funny. I haven't talked to him in a while. Miz and Morrison should split. Yeah, because they made them look stupid as hell. I like Kofi but hate New Day. You like that tweet last night? Yeah, the one with SpongeBob blowing the fire, which is pretty funny. I love that. I'll do my Survivor Series predictions on Friday. I don't have really time right now. Get Adam Pearce off TV. Just have legitimate, people in charge of the shows, not the same person in charge of both. Why can't Survivor just do feuds instead of brand to brand? Because they're lazy. Adam Pearce sucks. With SpongeBob and the top of Lana, yep. Survivor Series will not be Taker's last run. A lot of people are saying that as well. Of course, I'll talk about that as well in my predictions for Sunday. Well, it's probably Tuesday or Friday night or Saturday. We'll have to wait and see. But thank you guys, as always, for your stuff in the live chat. Anyways, so backstage, we have Sheamus pulling Drew McIntyre aside because he's got something really important to show him. He talked about, once again, how close he was with Drew's family, especially his mom. And his Scottish ancestry, and he's found something dear to McIntyre that was thought lost forever. Oh, there's a chest. The treasure chest that McIntyre opens, pulling some stuff out and saying he was supposed to get this stuff. And he turns around to Sheamus. Well, it was like kind of like a Scottish kilt in there. And Sheamus also presents him with a big-ass sword. And it looked sick. And Drew obviously got a little emotional because, just it really meant a lot to him for his heritage and, just kind of give him that baby face momentum that he needed to go into his main event match tonight. And Drew thanks him. Again, they are setting up for something with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. And I may sound overrated, but I think that's going to be a very underrated feud, I think. Again, as I've been saying, for a few weeks now, they're having these promos with Sheamus and McIntyre. And they feel so organic. You can feel the chemistry, the friendship between these two. With the title or not, that's going to be a very good feud. I'm actually really intrigued to see that. It's going to either happen at, well, maybe not at TLC. Even after the results of the match, unless if Miz cashes in on Sunday, I'm still thinking we're going to be getting a match, a triple threat at TLC with McIntyre, Orton, and The Fiend. I'm still seeing that. But after that, Royal Rumble, we may be getting, depends on what happens with the championship. I still don't know what's going to happen with the championship. It's very unpredictable right now and up in the air. But at some point, we are going to get Sheamus and Drew McIntyre in a feud. And that's going to be a really good feud. A very underrated feud that I don't think you're going to want to turn your head on for sure. We then have Retribution get a promo from backstage, talk about being one step ahead of Team Raw. And they try to act all different, but they're all spineless cowards waiting to stab themselves in the back. So all Retribution has to do is stand back and watch them fall. And Ali's only hope is that AJ Styles is ready to go down with his ship. And of course, AJ comes out with his big bodyguard, I don't know who it is. And then Retribution took on Team Raw's Braun Strowman, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, and Sheamus. Look, again, I'm going to continue to say Mustafa Ali again, okay. Get used to it, guys. Mustafa Ali. Even though Retribution absolutely sucks, I can't help but notice that Ali really is trying to make this work. Again, his microphone skills, his promo, his look, his visuals in general in this heel position he's in, he's literally doing the best he can with this. And the rest of the results around him may not be, calculating out. But I gotta give him credit that, again, he is definitely working his butt off trying to make this work. And there was some truth in the promo because, again, obviously the story here continues that Team Raw is just a mess. They're not going to get along at all whatsoever. So Retribution took advantage of that and they won the match, even though it was Mustafa Ali rolling up Matt Riddle. Riddle me this. Matt Riddle's going to be continuing to give everybody code names and nicknames like Fireface and a lot of other stuff and just make him look like more of a fool. Riddle me that. And I'm still predicting right now that Matt Riddle is going to be the first person eliminated from the Men's Survivor Series match and look like an idiot. But Retribution won the match with Ali rolling up Riddle. We have Jeff Hardy cornering Elias once again because Elias put down up flyers about how Jeff Hardy hit him with the car. He's like, I didn't do it, and Elias is like, well, you were going there and this blah blah blah. But then Hardy grabs him and says, if you keep accusing me of things that I didn't do, I'm going to do something worse to you than just you get hit by a car or whatnot. So I don't know where this is going. Again, it still was pretty much obvious back then that it was Sheamus. But my thing is we're about to get a feud with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus either way. So why would they want to see them kill that with Sheamus and Elias? Like, where is this going? Like, unless there's somebody else that, that they're going to say it was instead of Sheamus, but what other redhead could it have been to have attacked Elias? Dumb. Anyways, Nikki Cross is running around backstage, still trying to find Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss comes out. Nikki Cross tries to, again, here's the only thing I gotta say that's still, nagging me about this Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss storyline. Is the fact that we still don't know what the hell they're face or heels, because I was, after that Firefly Funhouse segment and set up for a match against The Miz, I was pretty convinced, maybe they were going to finally be considering The Fiend and Alexa Bliss baby faces. And yet Nikki Cross is still trying to talk some sense to Alexa Bliss, but it ain't working because Nikki basically and Alexa got to a brawl. Bray Wyatt came out, stares down Cross before, linking arms with Alexa Bliss, walking like a happy, psychotic couple to the ring. Bray Wyatt took on The Miz, just by Bray Wyatt himself. Very similar match to what they had, I thought, at TLC last year, except that it was a little bit better. Spiced up a little bit because of the involvement of Alexa Bliss. Again, when it was involved with the storyline with Wyatt and Strowman, I wasn't feeling it. I guess because they were trying to push something on us with the romance storyline with Strowman and Alexa Bliss that just was nothing but just a little, cup of coffee act in the mixed match challenge at one point with Team Little Big. But now that they kind of got into something completely different, I keep saying that was interesting. Bray Wyatt, of course, the crazy twisted man he is, went on to defeat The Miz with Sister Abigail. As they're walking off, the Fiend appear on the Titantron to freak the both of them out. So that worked for me. But that basically took The Miz out of the picture to cash in tonight. Although as they say, this is the reason why I'm starting to suspect maybe Miz may be cashing in on Sunday. When they say you come in contact with the Fiend, yeah, things happen. Things happen. Just ask, people like Alexa Bliss. Just ask people like, Seth Rollins and a few others who have been in contact with the Fiend and how obviously they changed. So, of course, even though that kind of happened with The Miz, it lead to his heel turn and it's floundered big time, could lead to something else, who knows. So, Bray Wyatt beats The Miz. That's what we were told about Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce joining Team Raw. Asuka was interviewed about being excited about facing Sasha Banks. Okay. Angel Garza cuts another weird promo about how roses have thorns and basically how he's a ladies' man and whatnot. It's always been cutting since he left. And then we have our main event. Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship, and then Drew McIntyre came out wearing the kilt, and then he also brought out that sword as well, put it into its place, and then the fire came out. Sick entrance. And Orton had a pretty good match. Of course, it looked like the story that these two continued to tell was that it's kind of like how it was like with Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page in their match at Full Gear about a week and a half ago. These two, especially, they told that story inside Hell in a Cell for the most part. Besides, of course, Orton's experience level being more than McIntyre's inside the cell. Obviously, with McIntyre trying to hit the Claymore kick on Orton several times and missing, he was also blocking an RKO as well from Orton as well, because remember in the tag match that Orton pinned him and at Hell in a Cell, the moment Drew McIntyre was hit with the RKO, he was done. So I liked how they kind of played that story in there as well. Of course, Orton, played the fiddle as well. He tried to leave during the match just to be a count out and for him to retain the title, but then Adam Pearce is like, no, Randy, no, you're not leaving, there's going to be a definite winner, which Orton used the advantage that using a chair onto the bad jaw of Drew McIntyre from the history they had from building up to their ambulance match at Clash of Champions. But it did not keep McIntyre down, as Drew McIntyre was able to battle back, and Drew McIntyre is now a 2-time world champion. He defeated Randy Orton, making connection with the Claymore, and he holds the title high and thanks us. And that is the show off the air. So that was Raw. Let's check the polls on Twitter here. Well, first off, I did do a poll of who's going to win the title last night. There was 12 votes on it. We had 33.3% say Orton, 50% say Drew, and 16.7% thought that The Miz was going to cash in. So, as far as the grades pull up here, what grade would you give this week's episode of Raw? We had 12 votes. 16.7% said A, 50% said B, 16.7% also said C, and 16.7% said D or lower. Whoo! Again, this was a tough one for me to grade, because the stuff that was good, I really liked. But the stuff that was not good, I wasn't a fan of. The only two things I really didn't like on this show was the stuff to do with actually the Survivor Series teams, with Team Raw and Team SmackDown. But those were the weakest parts of the show. Again, I loved what we got with Orton and McIntyre, with Wyatt and The Miz. I love the New Day and the Hurt Business segment, again, especially with Kofi Kingston making that Seinfeld reference. So there was some good to come out of the shows. I think this one just made B- for me. Just made B-. So that's my grade for that. Let's check the live chat once again. I'd actually like for Sheamus to win the title, Lauren says. We need the GMs back. She hated the draft was a point. And Elias and Jeff. Drew and Sheamus will be a great feud. Maybe a Mania. I don't know if I still feel it for Mania, though. I mean, I want to see them have a match. I just don't think I'd see that as a Mania feud, though. It could pull it off, I don't know, but I just don't see it for Mania. I see it maybe for TLC or Royal Rumble, but not for Mania. Drew's run as champ hasn't been the best. I disagree, no offense. Do you see them up in their game in January? Who knows? Ollie needs a push, yes. Where's Keith Lee? He's not winning matches. He's not losing them either, but he's in a weird booking stage. Which, by the way, I forgot to mention though. One bright spot in that 8-man tag match with Team Raw and Retribution was Keith Lee just like pouncing and flying slapjack away, like he did. Like that one little minute or two where he kind of like was just on fire and the match was awesomer, and the rest of the match to me was very forgettable. Retribution is a failure. Like the next is 2011. Next feud for Asuka. Should feud with Asuka next, not Nia Jax. Still maybe saying Shayna Baszler. Yeah, let's do Shayna. I hope they're better in 2021. Riddle should be called Mr. McMahon, Mr. No. That's what we should call them, yes. Jeff's just retired. He's going nowhere. I think Vince WWE creative and Pritchard are senile. Why and Alexa are neutral means they're both. Why is very confusing. Nikki will be added to Wyatt and Alexa. Who knows? Top 10 favorite couples. I don't know if I'll be able to do that one. Cena came into contact with The Fiend, then he didn't change. Hasn't been back since, though, of course. Next year, let's hope WWE stop doing brand warfare. We say that every year, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. C, why do you think WWE made Orton lose a title in 2 weeks? Orton has chemistry with anyone, and she's getting off. Again, I don't know. I mean, I do think Orton, needed a run with the championship, especially coming off, the momentum he's had this year for sure. And again, I was fine with him keeping the title. Again, my only gripe about it was just him, facing Edge for the title at Mania. I mean, if he's going to face Edge at Mania, fine. Just don't have the title involved. So, I'm not upset Orton won the title. I'm not upset he dropped it either. I'm just like, I was fine with whatever. I was just kind of intrigued that they actually kind of like, made a storyline out of it with Drew McIntyre, kind of like, going an extra mile, basically. And I do appreciate that storytelling with baby faces, and it just really, just makes Drew even that much better. Just my opinion. Kevin Owens didn't change either. He was, I guess, who knows? I don't know. Anyways, I gave it a B-. Drew McIntyre is your new, now 2-time WWE champion, and he'll be facing Roman Reigns at Survivor Series on Sunday. So guys, that's going to do it for this Raw review. Again, I made it through pretty good, despite the fact that I'm pretty tired, and yeah, I've worked 10 hours a day. Luckily, as of now, knock on wood, don't have to go and work early tomorrow, so I get to just sleep till a normal time I get up for work, and enjoy the rest of my evening. So guys, that's my thoughts on Raw. B- for the show. What are your thoughts on Raw? I'll make sure to do my AEW review tomorrow night, hopefully. NXT on Thursday night. Friday will be SmackDown, and if I'm feeling it, I'll do my Survivor Series preview predictions as well. Try to have that prepared for Friday, because my weekend's so jumbled this week. I really have no clue what I'm doing with my plans. I have several ideas, but I have no idea. So that's going to do it, guys. What were your thoughts again on this week's episode of Raw? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe or comment to my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAirborne93. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll see you guys all later. Have a great rest of your night. Peace out, everybody.